Lauren's such a good cop. Yes!
No, it's still.
No,
It's
no,
still.
no.
Yeah.
No.
It's
Wait,
still bad.
really? Go fucking. Okay, that's fine.
We're missing.
What about now? Am I looking good?
No.
You're looking the same.
You know, I don't even give a fuck. You're all just seeing shit.
Are we
You
done?
okay?
Yeah, there's a gas leak and you're all tripping balls.
I think I just laced a cigar with something a little extra today.
Yeah, maybe.
I could be a. This may be a ketamine-soaked cigarette.
Oh, good call.
Wait, no one took any of those cigarettes that I left out for free on the reception that one time, right?
No,
was
I bought
this?
mine from Innocence Boulevard when a
Okay,
woman
good.
with a very manly tone tried to hit on me and wanted my
Okay.
winter rebate.
Good, because those were laced with ketamine.
I wonder who that could have been. What?
What?
You know, I remember about 10 years ago, my dad had a friend over. And my dad's friends like to party pretty hard. And one of them, he was off his rocker on ketamine. He was in the middle of a K-hole. And I went in and I was like, Benji, where's Dad? And he had his face pressed up to my dad's computer screen. And he looks over his shoulder very slowly. He's like, I'm inside Facebook. I swiftly got the fuck out of there.
Okay,
That sounds about right.
Later fell down the stairs because he thought he was inside a book.
Alright, so what happened?
Waiting on Davenport, but I don't know how long he's gonna be. I think he's arguing with the lawyers at the moment. I'm gonna quickly slip down and check, otherwise we'll just go ahead and I'll brief Davenport afterwards.
While he's not in the room, there's something he ain't telling us.
I'm well aware.
Yep.
Before he gets back, just be very. Never mind.
Yeah, I'll just I'll brief
Is he-
Davenport
okay.
afterwards. Debrief,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Davenport. Afterwards, okay.
Yeah, we were just very careful with that situation, you know?
Yeah,
It was wild.
so yeah, to kick it off, I appreciate everything you guys did, and I do owe you all my lives, quite literally. You all responded to that perfectly, and like I would hope you'd respond to any other officer in distress. Essentially what happened, as you can piece together via my 911, is I was meeting with a contact, Arthur Hammond, at the funeral home. I had Divine overwatching for me. At that stage, I got told we're going to play golf with Mr. Murphy Braun. This is quite often. We often exchange information this way. So I had Divine contact Ziggy, knowing that I could trust him due to his UC expertise, etc., especially with the lack of time and change of location. We pick up Mr. Braun, we head to the golf course. Not 2 minutes being at the golf course on the green before we could even get our clubs. We had a grey and color Sultan roll on scene. Two gentlemen step out with AP pistols, blast both Arthur and Murphy, force me into the vehicle. From there, they took me to the Chumash Resort. This entire time I was still on GPS. They checked me for weapons, which I had none. I'd left them in my Audi. They checked me for a wire, which I wasn't carrying. They never checked me for a GPS system. Continued. That's when officers arrived on scene. Of course, as you know, shootouts occurred for you. I was transferred onto a boat with the now deceased Jacob DeSantis Storm, who attempted to interrogate me on information on who a possible snitch was. I didn't relieve any of this information, understanding the severity of it. I stalled for as long as I could, to the point we got to Sandy Shores PD, and they were swiftly taken into officer custody by force and yourselves. That is pretty much the long and short of it. Does anyone have any questions?
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Any connection to Arthur Hammond, do you think, on this one?
No, they shot the shit out of Arthur, like in the head. He's currently in the intensive care unit. I feel this may have just been wrong place, wrong time for those two.
Mm.
I had a tip off that something may happen, and I may be taken by force. However, I was told if it was, it'd be peaceful, which I instructed Divine on what to do if that happened. However, as you can see, it was very aggressive, putting 2 people in the hospital, critically injuring one of them. Again, Divine responded correctly. You all did a great job. And I cannot thank you enough, and I do owe you all one for saving me. Sorry, Olaf, you had one?
No, I missed for me, I've talked a lot with the Ballers, and a lot of the Sasa gangs as a DOC member. And how does the Ballers, aren't they just, sorry to put it,
The
just a Sasa
ballers,
group?
the ballers were hired guns as directed by Mr. DeSantis Storm. As we were in the boat returning towards Chumash, he indicated that he just hired those 2 idiots and then referred to them as he only hires the smartest and best. So, I don't know which one it was. My guess is the first. But, in my opinion, they were most likely hired guns for a price. I don't believe Mr. Storm has many affiliations with gangs, nor why they would want the information that they were attempting to extract from me. Has no bearing to any Southside gangs.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of see how it all tied together, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully be able to put that together, but for the time being, the running theory is that they were hired guns, which would make sense, judging by the way they operated in taking me. They attempted to be very methodical, however, they had the hiccups that any gangbanger would have attempting to be clean.
So, they did shut up Arthur Hammond and Murphy Brown.
That's correct. Murphy Braun was injured and Arthur Hammond was critically injured, put into the intensive care unit.
Right. Then we might need to adjust more.
Which is, they'd be the same with their own people if we did something to them.
Can you tell us who tipped you off that she was going to be kidnapped?
That was Arthur.
Hi.
He notified me that someone may be looking for me, and that someone may take me.
And they knew you were at the golf course.
And they knew I was at the golf course.
With Arthur Hammond.
With Arthur Hammond.
The thing
Sorry.
I would like to say before I was on the balcony watching this all go down, as Raven asked me to, and before him and Arthur arrived at the golf course, they were already there in a gray car. They had been on the golf course circling. I texted to Raven, and then I didn't see them again until they kidnapped them.
Mr. Braun was also privy to all this information, so there's no saying on who he may have contacted, who Arthur may have contacted. However, I don't believe they played any part in this, seeing the fact that they were both critically injured, put in the hospital, shot multiple times with automatic firearms, point blank. I'm sure
Okay,
Divine could contest to that.
Okay, so what does it come down to? That Arthur and Murphy Braun was probably working with, him, and then he turned on him before he paced?
Well, that's
'Cause, I
what
mean,
I'm
you know,
gonna
that's what
hopefully
it
be able
seems
to
like.
find out. That's what I'm gonna hopefully find out.
Cause-
I've worked a lot with Arthur in the past. He's been a contact of mine for a while. And to put himself in that situation where he could be injured doesn't fit his motif at all.
Okay, so it sounds like he got played.
But, quite possibly, yeah. That's something that I'm gonna hopefully be able to find out.
Alright.
Alright. I'm just trying to make sure you understand, Raven, before you guys ever arrived, they were there. You know?
Yes, I did get the text from you when I was picking up Mr. Braun. Let's see. That you said there was that salt in there. So there are many ways this could be framed. It could be the fact that they know that whenever me and Arthur link up, we play golf. They could have been hired by Arthur and turned on him. There's no definite way to say now that Mr. DeSantis Storm is deceased. It'll be harder to get a definitive answer.
Well, the thing is, you mentioned that they were hired guns. Maybe they could have not followed clear instructions. You mentioned Jacob saying they were idiots.
He also called him the smartest.
Well, I guess we'll never know now that he's dead.
Right. But yeah, that is the
Did Lauren get an email?
long and
Nope.
short of it. The basics of it. I will be questioning Mr. Hammond once he is out of ICU, and hopefully I'll be able to get in contact with Mr. Braun.
Yeah, so
and
you
talk
the
to him
sergeant,
about
do you
everything.
want to write the report for this or what?
I will be writing a report. Yeah.
Alright.
It is my sole responsibility. I put everyone in this situation.
Okay.
I wrote up some. If you want to just snag a bunch of that,
Yeah,
to fill in
fine.
the details about like the incident around
Yeah.
it. But yeah, that should be a good framework from what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Does
I
anybody have
didn't
any
get up to
issues
the
with-
sandy spot though.
That's
we had
fine.
ours down on the river.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was down, and I have everything up to that minus the incidents
Ziggy, can you come
prior
back?
to the shooting.
But as I'm full aware of, sadly, sometimes you see operations go south, which is exactly what happened here.
What you want, Bo?
Do y'all have any issues with the way I led that?
No.
Okay.
There was a lot going on. There was a lot of moving pieces. You did fine.
Alright.
Yeah, from
think
my
that'd be fine with
my
some.
point of view as well, Bo. You played that perfectly.
Okay.
Okay. Unless anyone has anything else, you guys are good to get back on patrol. I'll be available via email. I will be writing this up as I go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm looking
Alright.
for a new FTO.
Raven, if you need anything from me, just let me know.